Hey everyone! Today I thought I would do something a little bit different and maybe a little bit fun. I thought I would show you my childhood sketchbook from the late 1970s. So this has been in my possession for quite a while. You can see that this came from Western Drug. Some of you may remember Western Drug stores. Since it was from the 70s, it has the obligatory Dynamo label maker label on there with my name. And just to show that this is an extra special sketchbook, I put a very ornate BA, my initials, on there. So you know that because this is on here, this is full of class and dignity. So here we go. This is a Mead sketchbook. Sketch diary. This was given to me as a gift for Christmas in 1977. So here we go. Be careful with this. It's a little tattered. So my world pretty much revolved around Star Wars when I was a kid, when I was about 10 years old. So this was done on Christmas 1977. As you can see, I hope it's a stormtrooper. I did sketch some of my other Christmas presents that year. I got a Nerf football. And that was drawn the next day, December 26, 1977. And I always put my not my birthday, but my age. I was 10 years old at that point. Let's see what other wonders we have in here. Now this is also probably the height of my artistic career. It's been all downhill from here. This is another toy I got for Christmas that year. This is the $6 Million Man bionic mission vehicle, and I drew that toy. You can see it says Colonel Austin there. This was done in January of '78. And the BMV there stands for Bionic Mission Vehicle. I'm sure a lot of you remember the $6 Million Man TV show. So this was a toy that was from that. Another Star Wars drawing. These get kind of hard to see. I used very light pencil. But this one is Darth Vader. This is from February of 1978. And you can see that I put Darth across the top here. I thought that was his first name instead of a title. There's our friendly droid R2-D2. This was also February 1978. This was a portrait of my brother Michael. I did this in February of '78 when I was 10 years old. This is another scene from Star Wars. You can see there's Darth Vader picking up one of the rebels, Captain, I can't remember that character's name, but he's breaking his neck like in the movie, and of course, to get the point across, I needed to write crack right there across the bottom. This was from March of 1978. This is another Star Wars character. This was one of the Sand People, or a Tusken Raider, from March of '78. And lest there be any doubt, the Jawas are coming. So here's one of our little Jawa friends with some text to let us know what's going on. Looks like this is from February as well, by Brian A. I should probably start signing my work that way these days. Here is a portrait of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia Organa from July of '78. So this is almost exactly 40 years old, this little drawing. Looks like I found a darker pencil to fill in the empty space in her mouth there. So opposite page here, it looks like I did a recreation of a Pink Panther comic book cover just a couple days before the Princess Leia. Even got the little gold key thing up in the corner there. Let's see what else is in here. There's Han Solo, a very questionable portrait of Harrison Ford as Han Solo from July of '78. There is, it says, Sir Alec Guinness as Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi from almost exactly 40 years ago, still in July of '78. He was 11 years old. Thought this was kind of funny. Here's a couple of stormtroopers, again, from July of '78. And this is when Star Wars was re-released to theaters. And I actually wrote, the day that I drew this picture, Star Wars came back. So that was a pretty big day for me. Back in the '70s, you know, there were no videotape players, no DVD players, nothing. So if you wanted to rewatch a movie, you hoped it came back to the theater or they showed it on regular TV. So yeah, drew that to commemorate that moment. Movie Jaws 2 also came out that summer. So this is in August of '78, and there's the shark approaching a helicopter that's landed on the water. I loved that movie back then. This is a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. This is from October of '78. I had a friend who was kind of got into more mischief than he probably should have, and he went through my sketchbook and added little things here and there. Let's just say I would not tolerate that these days, but he added this silly little platform that he's standing on, and I will probably point out some other areas that he's added things. This was a drawing of the old Kenner Death Star space station for the Star Wars action figures. This was a playset I wanted when I was a kid. Drawing was from October of '78. There's a very questionable portrait of Luke Skywalker. He actually looks a little more like Leif Garrett, if any of you remember that teen idol from the '70s. There's another one of R2-D2. There's a Princess Leia, I think I copied out of a comic book. There's a Chewbacca from November 1978. It's a little hard to see, but there he is. And Grand Moff Tarkin. It's funny to look back on these. From November of 1978. Another Han Solo. Unfinished. Another Luke Skywalker, looking very inquisitive and asking the question, sand people? Yeah, that's the level of depth and detail that I got into these drawings, my friends. From November of 1978. There is Obi-Wan Kenobi swinging a lightsaber from November of '78. And I put a quote here that I later crossed out. And he says, "Heave my words, Darth, you will cease to exist." I think that is probably directly from the film. I think it's paraphrased somewhat. Of course. Heave instead of heed. Anyway, so there's C-3PO. There's an unfinished drawing of a couple of stormtroopers. Started to draw the land speeder there and decided I probably didn't want to draw all those other characters, I guess. So I also liked Alice Cooper, the singer. It says here Alice with pet boa Yvonne. So there's Alice Cooper from May of 1979. Another Alice Cooper from August of '79. My friend drew this little guillotine behind his head here. But you can see my signature has turned into these initials, and quite fancy. Amazing. Another Alice Cooper says, "Thanks to Welcome to My Nightmare," since this is a copy of the cover of Welcome to My Nightmare, an Alice Cooper album from September 1979. Here's Peter Criss. I don't have a date on this one, but I was also a Kiss fan. And if you look, my monogram, my initials there are getting really fancy, and it's actually a lot like this beautiful job that I did on the cover here. We got Ace Frehley here from October of '79. It's like I started a Gene Simmons there and didn't finish it. That's something that hasn't changed in 40 years, is that I still leave a lot of things unfinished in sketchbooks. Here's one from October of '79. This is Gene Simmons from the rock group Kiss, which was huge back in the '70s. This was an unfinished Peter Criss that my mischievous friend embellished there. So he added all the explosions, the antenna, and the very goofy face on Peter Criss there. There's another Alice Cooper from February 29th, 1980. I've even denoted that it was a leap year that year. So there's that. August 1980, The Empire Strikes Back had just come out that summer, and so there's a little portrait of Yoda. And I even did a little version of the Empire Strikes Back logo there. And let's see, I think that's the last thing in here. Peter Criss from 1980. Got some miscellaneous scribbling going on there. Oh, and if there's any doubt, just so we're all clear and on the same page here, all sketches in the book are done by, and since by is a really hard word to spell, I had to respell it and then cross out the old one. Then here's another version of my initials. I don't know if that's as good as the ones on the front, but those are pretty good. And look, my name is even in the initials. Can any of you say you were that creative when you were a kid? Anyway, so that's my childhood sketchbook. I wanted to mention that I'll put some images up here. Around the same time that I was doing these drawings, the Weekly Reader magazine, which was a national elementary school magazine that was distributed across the U.S., put out a contest to draw a Star Wars character from that might have been in the Star Wars cantina scene from the first Star Wars movie. And so I did kind of a goofy little drawing of an alien I created and sent it in, and I made runner-up. So that was kind of neat. So I got my little runner-up drawing published in the Weekly Reader. My prize for being runner-up was this How to Draw Monsters book, written by Larry Evans, and this is the book that I got. I've had this for 40 years, and it's kind of a neat little book on how to draw different monsters and things. But one thing that I found interesting was that if you look at this drawing in the book and you look at this other little drawing by Marcus done for Weekly Reader, for the Weekly Reader contest, it looks like he basically copied this out of the book. So yeah, Marcus, after 40 years, I'm calling you out on this. But I have to say you probably are disappointed that your prize was a book you already had. So so anyway, thanks for watching this goofy little look through my my old sketchbook. I hope you understand that a lot of the things I said were very tongue-in-cheek. And I've got more serious videos coming up. There is going to be an Escoda travel brush comparison coming up fairly soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.